And I have a few notes because just stuff I've been seeing throughout the day and on the panel and so on is, as I think back on what I want to talk to you guys about today, I'm just seeing so many examples of it here and so many opportunities for what people are doing. I wanted to start out a little bit with just, kind of why I'm here and the perspective that I have on this. And I have a squeaky stage, so I hope you don't hear that too much because I do wander around a little bit. I spend about 3/4 of my time helping end customer organizations, mostly financial services, insurance, implement BPM systems. So I'm in there doing whatever. It's like I'm too old to write code, but I do, process architecture, strategy, I'll do process mapping, whatever needs to be done. But I spend about 1/4 of my time doing things as an industry analyst, as an independent analyst, and that's part of why I'm here, is because I have a perspective on the industry. I get a chance to look at a lot of different products, talk to a lot of different customers about what they're doing, and see some of the things that are happening. So that gives me a bit of a perspective on what the trends are in the industry and how the industry is changing from a BPM standpoint. I've been working with BPM since long before it was called BPM. I did my first implementation of what you might consider a BPM system in about 1989. So I was 12. I have been at this a little while. And I've been doing presentations about BPM for quite a while because I do like to get up and talk about this stuff. I do like to write about it as well. I have a blog about BPM, and I do a lot of presentations, and I put a lot of things out from a social media standpoint. I have an active Twitter presence, and I put my slides out on SlideShare and things like that. So I like to kind of get out there and share this stuff as well. Back in 2006, which is almost 6 years ago, it would have been May or June of 2006, I gave a presentation at a conference in London. And this was a BPM conference, and the topic that I gave it on was something that was a little maybe controversial at the time. It was called BPM and Web 2.0. Remember when we called it Web 2.0? And it was really about how social software was starting to impact BPM and enterprise software in general, and what I saw as some of the trends that would be coming as social software became more prominent. So at the time, consumer social software was really just kind of getting going. We were all kind of playing around with this stuff a little bit. This was pre-Twitter, pre-all of that stuff, but there were some things out there. And we were just starting to look at the concept of Enterprise 2.0, which is the business social software, or starting to use these capabilities within our organizations rather than just on the consumer web for having fun with our friends. So it's really about how can we make this stuff help us do our work better, as opposed to just how can we have this stuff just be fun for us. So that was one of the things that was really interesting to me. I looked at just the kind of transition. When I look at what the things that I said should be in BPM products at 6 years ago, a lot of them have actually made it in there, so I kind of feel happy about that ability to predict one little tiny thing of what happened in the market. And what I'm seeing is that the technology is there, but the biggest resistance that we have, or the biggest barrier that we have, is the business culture. In many cases, we're in very top-down, command and control, authority-driven type organizations, not necessarily because we choose to be there, but that's because that's the way our organizations have grown, especially if they're older businesses, is that they just run that way. It's an authoritative management style. And that means that the ideas of social and collaboration and all of this kind of stuff are really new to the management, but also to the workers. And so there's a lot of resistance in the business culture. So what I want to talk about today is the things that are really impacting how we do work, how work happens in the enterprise, driven by social technologies. I'm a technologist at heart, so I always kind of go back to, well, what's the technology piece in here? So it's really about the social technologies and the impact they're having. Because the social technologies are there. Social BPM is there, other social technologies are there in the enterprise, and the challenge for all of you is going to be, how do you bring those into your organization and make them work for you? And what does that mean about how you have to change the way that you do business? He said only push the green button or the red button, so I'm being careful about that.